Your party is forced into eating at a vegan lunch. What do? My Dragonborn fighter looks at his plate with disdain. He decides to pick it up and throw it on the ground. He yells at the host. Do I look like a f***ing iguana to you? Host falls speechless. My party begins to glare at me. The bard pipes up with, kinda. Hey, what's up everybody, I'm SkyDieRay and welcome to another DnDGreentext video. Yeah, without any further ado, enjoy the video. In a generic D&D setting, DM bestows upon your character rulership over all kinds of fungus. A bit magically boosted rulership so you can really emphasize some fungal traits. How would you make use of your powers? Be me. Gain the power of all fungus. Decide to develop new abilities. Find a way to spray pure psilocybin at my enemies. Eventually create an aura of psilocybin around myself. Enemies become docile around me. Eventually all my foes become my friends. They all enjoy my presence. They all call me a fungi. Got one. DM last night was a real dick. Had a puzzle where we had to guess a word. Clues were all of the letters of 2 colors of the rainbow plus 2 other letters. Contains 4 of 5 vowels. Number of letters equal to a prime number plus 1 and 2x another prime number. The word was conglomerative. I didn't even know that word exists in English. I've never heard this word in English, so yeah, I don't think it's used very often. The more you know. If you need to write an algorithm to find a word in the dictionary, it's not a riddle. Holy shit. I thought every DM knew players were too dense for puzzles. Usually puzzles devolve into trying to bash everything with a hammer. Wait, isn't that the meaning of puzzle? Like bash with the hammer until you find the solution? That's how you, right? Had my first encounter with another DM IRL today. It went a little something like this. Be me. Forever DM for a few different groups over the years. Always had slightly different members but a few overlaps. Always the DM, never a player. Tons of character ideas. Sure, I've used them as NPCs, but it's not the same. After about 10 years, I'm getting tired of always being a DM. Ask around the friend group to see if anyone would be interested in being the DM for a one-shot. Something simple so I can kick back and f*** around for a week. Find a guy. Known him for a while. Never knew he was into tabletop games. He's a bit like me. Forever DM. We talk a bit about our histories with D&D, problematic players, etc. He asks me why I want to be a player now when I'm in the middle of a campaign. I explain to him I need an extra week to write the next part of my campaign. He stares at me blankly. What game are you playing that you need to write for 2 whole weeks? I tell him simply, Pathfinder. He looks frustrated. No, not what rule set, what game? I'm confused. I ask him to explain. What game? You say you've been a DM for 10 years and you don't even know your game? Like Curse of Strahd or Children of the Void? I ask if he's talking about pre-written campaigns. Of course I'm talking about those. Why do you need 2 weeks to write 1 session? I explain that I'm just doing a homebrew campaign loosely based on Pathfinder. He said something that I never expected to hear. Wait, what the f***? You can't do that? You're bullshitting me. I feel like I've opened a whole new world of possibilities for this guy. Now, I'm not hating on people who only play box adventures. I was just blown away that this guy has been a DM for about 3 years now, apparently, and he's never even heard of homebrew campaigns. I showed up late to the session, so this is when my character comes in. Be me again in my cart full of fruit gummies, beer, and elf skull. See 3 retards on the verge of dying. Apparently our barbarian got caught running into the giant web. I show up and try to use Speak with Animals and my 20 charisma to convince the giant spiders to f*** off. Spiders don't seem to want to travel 2 miles to go eat an elf village that doesn't exist. Proceed to snipe spiders with my bow. My face when I forget that I have abilities that allow me to hit harder and more times per turn. My face when our damage dealer keeps missing his shots due to his own incompetence. My face when our rogue is on the floor, dying. My face when the only thing the warlock has really done was banish a spider. Have to be the competent one here and end up killing 3 of the 5 spiders. They get the other one. Proceed to wait for the final spider to come back from the warlock's banish. Proceed to kill the spider till it's dead. Try to heal our dying rogue. My face when lesser restoration only cures status effects. Okay, this is my character, a catgirl sorcerer named Nikomiya Megumi. She's a thrill-seeking runaway princess from her fairy kingdom. She likes showing off her gorgeous body to make herself feel sexy, but she doesn't enter any relationships because she's waiting for a true Prince Charming to come to her. So, what do you think? Player brings this to my table. Me, what the hell is it wearing? It's her chosen attire. It's a bikini. Well, yeah. Why is it wearing a bikini? Oh, well, she likes showing off her sexy body. It's a cat. Yes. How or why does a cat have a sexy body? Well, maybe I find cats sexy. Do you f cats? Player stares at me with a guilty look. Get the f out of my apartment. Oh, that's f***ed up and I'm sorry for reading that, Jesus Christ. Be me, druid tiefling hippie with no interest in material objects. Trying to get into heavily militarized city with my party. City requires ID to enter. My character did not have any papers. The rest of the party makes it in and I'm threatened with violence if I try to enter. So I head to the forest. I could wait for my wild shape to recharge, but I am patient. I use conjure animals to summon 8 cows. I tie myself underneath one of them and tell the rest to surround the cow I'm under. Command them to charge into the city. I am Odysseus. Meanwhile, up on the wall patrolling, guards see Stampede. Try to call out a warning, but it's too late. The cows break down the gate and trample the guards there. I wait until I'm deeper in the city, then shout for the cows to scatter. Once I'm safe in an alleyway, I cut myself free from my cow before sending it to cause more mayhem. Stand up and dust myself off. And that's how it's done. Why you don't give your low-level party access to Wand of Fireballs? Be me, Paladin player and part-time DM when DM has to leave early or can't make session. Be not me, Tiefling Warlock, Goliath Bloodhunter, Order of the Lycan, important, and Dwarf Cleric, not important. Bloodhunter lost his hammer earlier in the day when he tried to rob a weaponsmith. Warlock and Bloodhunter get drunk and decide to try to steal it back. Bloodhunter distracts guards while Warlock sneaks into the shop. Warlock rolls poorly on stealth. Guards begin to leave Bloodhunter to investigate. Bloodhunter panics, transforms into Warbear in the middle of town, surrounded by guards. Guards freak out. One runs off to alert the rest of the city watch, others begin to chase after the Bloodhunter. Gives Warlock time to find Hammer and get back to the inn. Bloodhunter tries to run away and hide in town. Stealth roll, natural 1. Continues to run just out of town. Second stealth roll, second natural 1. Decides to book it into woods, now with basically the entirety of the city guards searching for him. Final stealth roll, natural 2. 4 guards spot him and approach with silver chains. Bloodhunter has dropped out of Warbear form now. Sees guards getting close, pulls out Wand of Fireballs. Blows himself and guards to pieces. Rolls 5 death saving throws and eventually comes back up to 1 health. I tell him that by the time he has regained consciousness, he is surrounded by many guards. Bloodhunter immediately uses the wand again, deals over his max health, instantly killing himself and all the guards. The rest of the party has no idea what has happened. Warlock is now stuck with a stolen weapon, and if it's found, may be suspected of being part of the terror plot that occurred in the city last night. TLDR, Bloodhunter suicide bombs himself rather than get captured. Warlock stuck with incriminating evidence of involvement. How does one roleplay a war profiteer in a fantasy setting? Be me, weapons merchant. Be selling weapons to a local crime syndicate. The leader asks me what weapons I have. Lay out some popular choices in front of him. Start giving my pitch. About halfway in, I notice his attention is drawn not to the display of weapons sprawling across the table, but to one of his henchmen. I attempt to get his attention by amplifying my pitch. The dagger is interesting. It's made of specialized mix of Damascus steel and dragonhide. This makes it lightweight and very stealthy. A lot of my clientele prefers it as it doesn't trigger any pesky perception checks from nosy adventurers, which I don't recommend. He still doesn't pay any attention to me and still glares at his henchman. I continue. But if it's true stopping power you want, then I recommend utilizing the raw magical power of a Wand of Fireballs. I hand him a Wand of Fireballs for him to examine. It's crafted from aged Feywild wood and powered by a priceless fire gem. It comes stock with 10 charges and I guarantee you, it will not fail. Examines the wand, admiring its craftsmanship. His eyes shift back to the same henchman. In one motion, he points the wand at him and casts a firebolt. The bolt flies through the air, hitting the henchman's head. Within a fraction of a second, his head is reduced to a smoldering, mushy pile of bone and brains. I was taken aback by this action. Why did you do that? Offended by my objection, He proceeded to point the wand at me. The other henchmen in the room proceeded to draw their swords. What did you say? Knowing I was outnumbered, I quickly resorted to my charm. Well, now you have to buy it. I proceed to grab the wand from his hand and inspect it for damage. I can't sell a used wand. He becomes silent. He peers into my eyes. He then laughs a mighty laugh. A used wand. That is funny. I like your style, merchant. I'll take it. King has hired you and your party to be auxiliaries in the capital city, because the military is currently overburdened after the rioting breakouts. Academic agitators from the Mages College have been inciting the lower classes into a socialist republican uprising. Tensions are made worse after the military slaughters demonstrators. City threatens to be engulfed by civil strife. Rumors that elements of the military sympathetic to the demonstrators are plotting to storm the palace in a coup have reached your ears. You've even been propositioned by agents claiming to be sent from the royal spymaster to back up the conspirators when the time comes. What do? Which side will let me indulge my orcish fandom fetish? Ah yes, TG, asking the questions that matter. So, what would you do if that happened and you'd have to choose to help the kingdom or the peasants? I don't know, I guess the king versus the peasants. Peasants. Unless the peasants are cat, cause yeah, that's not okay apparently. Anyway, that was it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did and subscribe for more. I really appreciate you watching this video. Also, a big thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon. And that would be Cuphead, Nicholas, Hexpixel, CBZ, Lowpast Vertoletta, Himitsu no Yami, and Sadie Blackthorn. Thank you a lot for supporting the channel on Patreon, really appreciate it. If you want to check out the Patreon, there's a link in the description for that. If you want to support the channel, not check it out, I guess. There's also links below for Discord and Twitter and other social media. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye!